Hello, I'm Pete from Risky Business. There are only 3 real causes of incidents in the workplace causing injury, damage, and loss. Incident investigations are often hindered by the misconception that we need to immediately fix the unsafe acts and unsafe conditions which we believe led to the incident. And once identified, these factors are corrected and the case is closed. Unfortunately, although this is how most safety committees conduct and conclude their investigations, dealing with unsafe acts and unsafe conditions in this manner simply does not work. It's a band-aid solution to a deeper problem. Take a look at your weekly inspections and safety committee meeting minutes from, say, 12 months ago, and count how many identical unsafe acts and unsafe conditions repeat themselves. If these same unsafe acts and unsafe conditions keep reoccurring, then your remedial measures are ineffective. So what is the problem? The problem is that unsafe acts and unsafe conditions are merely a symptom that there's something wrong with the management system. And the only way to correct unsafe acts and unsafe conditions properly and for the long term is to look beyond them to the true underlying cause and make changes to the errant management system that allowed it to happen in the first place. Take a look at video 2 where I explain in detail about safety management systems. Knowing this, we can then effectively address the 3 causes of incidents resulting in injury, damage, and loss. Of the 3 real causes of injuries in the workplace, the first cause is when an employee is performing a task and he has an incident whilst not following the standard procedures. Very common. The second cause is when an employee is performing a task and has an incident whilst following those standard procedures. And the third cause is when an employee is performing a task and has an incident while having no standard procedures to follow. So just think about those for a moment. With the first one, what is the underlying cause when there's an incident because we are not following the standard procedures? And no, the answer is not tell him to follow the procedure. Why not? Possibly he's a new employee, possibly he's not trained, possibly he's not supervised, possibly the procedures are confusing or outdated. Now let's identify which management system we need to address. In this case, it may be a combination of revising orientation, training, hazard and risk control, and task procedures. And all of these fall into one or more of the management systems. Now, let's look at the second one. What is the underlying cause when we have an incident whilst we are following the standard procedures? Obviously, the employee is doing everything correctly, so the underlying cause must be traced to the procedures themselves. They may be inadequate or do not fully consider the risks involved in performing the task. Correcting this may be as simple as updating the task procedures, so identify the management system that governs that and deal with it that way. Look for other causes, such as effective supervisor communications. And the third cause of injury, damage, or loss is when we perform a task that has no standard operating procedure to follow. Perhaps there's new equipment or a new product online for which procedures have yet to be written. Remember that your task is to ensure that your safety management systems are in place to prevent the potential for any possibility of injury, damage, or loss. As for the importance of those unsafe acts and unsafe conditions, well, I'm Pete for Risky Business. Thanks for watching.